NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series rolls on here and begins with the Sprint Unlimited qualifying session here tonight under the lights at Daytona International Speedway. We're getting ready for an exciting 20-minute segment where we're going to get to show you the drivers that have locked themselves into this season's event, which you can only get into by having a pole from last season or being a former Sprint Unlimited winner, or as it was called back before, I think, Season 7, the Budweiser Shootout. And we're going to be introducing them here to you tonight, and we're also going to be taking a look and seeing who's going to be starting on the pole position for this season's Sprint Unlimited race. A number of former Sprint Unlimited winners in this race, and we got a couple of former champions too. One of them we're actually going to jump to. He was the first one off of pit road. That is Dougie Shears, who's returning this season. This season is going to be a little bit different for Dougie Shears. The first time that we saw him in Snickers Cup competition, he drove and won the championship in the 83 for Red Bull Racing. And last season, he drove the number 21 for Michael Norman Motorsports. This season, though, he's driving in a team all on his own, driving the number 46 Avenged Sevenfold PewDiePie Chevrolet out of his new team of Schwab Racing. So we'll see how Dougie does in a single-car team this season. He does have a teammate in this field for the Sprint Unlimited, but it's a driver that's only going to be running a one-off race here for the Sprint Unlimited. We will not be seeing him in Season 9 regularly in the Snickers Cup Series. Dougie Shears gets into this race due to having pole last season, and that pole ended up coming at, as I'm looking through the list here real quickly, see if I can find it, it was at Talladega Superspeedway. So that's how Dougie got his way in, by having that pole position. Battle going on here 2 wide between a couple of drivers from last season. So we're going to actually bring up the ticker too, so you can, as the cycle of laps happen, you can see who's actually on the point and everything. Cold Alley currently holds a spot, but we'll start first with the car in front of this 2-car tandem, Harrison Langford. Now Langford, it's been a kind of an interesting couple of seasons for him. He had his rookie season in Season 7, where he drove the number 45 Wells Fargo Dodge for then Petty Enterprises. Then last season he drove the number 43 Ford for Rogers V8 Performance Motorsports. This season he's kind of taken those two rides and merged them together, as he's now driving the number 43 Dodge, sponsored by Ford Travel Insurance. And he also is driving for another new team under a new name. It's Rogers Motorsports, but it was going to be originally under the name of Rogers Motorsports with Jake Rogers, but now it's under Zach Rogers' name. And so, you know, it's been kind of a bit of here, there, and everywhere for Harrison Langford. However, he's pretty much stayed true to having a Petty Enterprises kind of number. He had the 45 and now the 43 in Season 8 and now here in Season 9. Right behind him, another driver who's actually with a new team. Going to have the same kind of look on most of her machines, but she's going to be in an entirely new team that she'll be driving them for. That's Jessica Shelton. Made the chase last season due to having a win at Talladega Superspeedway. She ended up getting eliminated, I believe it was in the contender round, but she's going to be driving the number 94 Chevrolet. We recognize this number 94 Mega Man sponsor from debuting back in the All-Star race, but she's no longer driving for Michael Norman Motorsports. She's now merged over to her own team of Retro Racing Enterprises, and she's got a number of teammates that are going to be trying to qualify for the Daytona 500. The only 2 drivers that I know of for certain are going to be locked into the 500 so far are herself and teammate Joshua Collard, who also is actually in the Sprint Unlimited. She's got some rookie teammates, Nick Smith, Brendan Burke, and Gene Stanford, who are all going to have to try and race their way into the 500 in the qualifying sessions that'll be coming up later on this week. Here's one of our one-race deal drivers. Now this ride is actually going to be driven by Momo Akari full-time for Season 9, but it's being driven here tonight for Makoto Iguchi. Iguchi getting into this Sprint Unlimited due to having a pole position at Arizona last season, and a driver out of the Enraged Motorsports stables. So she is here in a one-race deal driving the 14 for the Sprint Unlimited, and a former Daytona 500 winner too, the defending Daytona 500 winner actually, so we'll see what she does here in this qualifying session, as far as also the Sprint Unlimited, as she will not be defending her title in the 500. Further back here is two-time winner last season, Danny Wells. Now, Danny was actually one driver who could have been a mover and shaker as far as the chase, but his 2 wins ended up coming 2 races after the chase field was locked. He won the first chase race at Daytona, and then he won the second chase race the following week at Darlington. So, former winner at Daytona, he could be one of the favorites here in the Sprint Unlimited, as well as possibly in the Daytona 500, as he is still driving the number 4 for Tweenix Racing. Danny Wells also gets in due to having pole position, which ended up coming at both Lime Rock and at the race he won last season at Darlington Raceway. Right behind him is Tanner Sullivan, the Season 8 Snickers Cup Series Rookie of the Year. He's now a sophomore driver in Snickers competition, moving from the Kyotech Audi RS4 over to the Young Motorsports Ford Fusion. Still driving the number 20 with now the new sponsors of DeWalt and Stanley on his Ford Fusion. Tanner Sullivan going to try and come in and get his very first Snickers Cup Series victory. He went all last season as a rookie without a win. And he also had a pole position last season at Chicagoland. That's what gets him into tonight's event. Right now, Noah Hart is the fastest car on track. We'll see if we can find him in just a few moments. There's Cole Daly in the 88. He was up atop the speed charts earlier on. Now he's 3rd fastest on track. Cole Daly, not much changing for this team. Still driving for Hendrick Daly Motorsports, still driving the 88, and still driving a Camaro. He was a former winner last season at Thornton and had a pole at Atlanta last season, which gets him into tonight's event. And now we can get into some drivers that are former winners of the Sprint Unlimited. This is Red Bell, who ended up winning the Season 4, what was then Budweiser Shootout. Red Bell driving the number 19 Dodge, a little bit of shades of the ride that she ended up winning her Sprint Unlimited race in. At that time, it was sponsored by Dodge UAW. And here tonight, she's going to be driving that. Oh, wow, we got some dust here. Someone had trouble in turn 1, it looks like. I'd like to find out who that was, but don't think we're going to be able to. We might be able to get a look at our NNSCRA split cam, which is coming in with a new look this season. Somewhat new look with a new border and everything. Hope you guys will like that. But Red Bell, as I said, driving in a one-race deal here with the 19, because the 19 rights do not actually belong to Everham Motorsports. They actually belong to Ajax Racing and Carter Fargo's Buick Regal, which we'll be seeing trying to qualify for the Daytona 500. So Red Bell just driving in a one-race deal here with the 19. Another driver driving in a one-race deal is right behind her, and that's Logan Wilson. He was the Season 3 winner of the Sprint Unlimited. Logan Wilson driving in a ride also very similar to the ride he ended up winning the Sprint Unlimited in. He won the Sprint Unlimited in Season 3 driving the number 4 Red Bull Toyota out of Red Bull Racing. And right now driving the number 444 with the same Red Bull font on his Red Bull Chevrolet here in the Sprint Unlimited. Behind him, one of the drivers who was one of the final 4 for the championship at Armory Digital Super Speedway last season, Jacob Lawler. Much like Cole Daly, not much changing for him. Still driving Hendrick Daly Motorsports, still with the same sponsorship, still in a Camaro, and still in the number 5. Lawler ended up having 3 pole positions last season at Daytona, which actually was the Daytona 500 he sat on the pole for, as well as the road course of Tres Riveras, where he dominated and picked up a win last season, and also another road course of Champs-Élysées. Those 3 poles getting him into tonight's event. Haven't really talked much about BMWs, but there are quite a few BMWs in the Sprint Unlimited here this season, including Sean Galligan, back in the number 44 BMW M3 with a slightly new look on his Hartlepool colors. Sean Galligan right now 7th fastest on the racetrack. Galligan was a 2-time winner last season and had a pole at Kansas, which gets him into this season's Sprint Unlimited. Michael Norman running all by his lonesome, winner last season at Auto Club Raceway. Norman coming in with a rather new Michael Norman Motorsports looking team. Oh, wow, there was some dust kicked up here too. Yeah, it looks like it might have been Brandon Gonzalez who actually spun out that time. We'll get to him in just a minute. So we at least were able to pinpoint where one of the drivers was that wrecked here on track, but haven't seen really any cars that have been disabled, so I think they're not going to have to go to backup cars. Anyway, talking about Michael Norman, the only driver that I can think of that really is a former Michael Norman Motorsports driver that's coming back next season for this team would be, I believe, the returning Chris Dollerton. He's got a couple of rookies that are coming in this season as well, including Dunn LaPrade and Kyle Collins. So we'll be seeing how Michael Norman is able to adjust to being able to have a lot of different rookies on his team. I apologize for the lag there. Don't understand why that was going on. But being sponsored by Doctor Who, the same sponsor he had during the chase last season, comes in as his primary sponsor on his 3. And Norman ended up having 2 poles last season, one at Thornton and one at Homestead Miami Speedway, getting him into tonight's Sprint Unlimited. As a matter of fact, Noah Hart's just lost the pole position. There's Noah Hart actually to Red Bell. She's now just turned the fastest lap with a 42.242. Noah Hart, though, still a very similar paint scheme to what we've seen the past couple of years. He made his Snickers Cup Series debut for Kyotech Racing 2 seasons ago in Season 7 and ended up winning Audi's first ever Snickers Cup Series race in their debut race at Darlington. He also ended up that was in Season 6. I apologize. Season 7 he ended up getting a win as well, and then Kyotech went completely winless last season. Apparently that was the hint for Noah Hart that it was time to move on. He now has moved over to Fuel Brothers Racing, his own team, now driving a Toyota, but still sponsored by Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. However, the interesting thing about this car, we're going to be calling it the Pi-Mobile, because it is the number 3.14 with the mathematical symbol of pi up on the roof as well. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see if we actually ever this season have the Pi-Mobile go to victory lane. Just up ahead of him, just bypassed him actually, was a 2-car tandem of Ian Dutta and Bob Jones. Ian Dutta drove a Dodge last season, the number 66 Dodge for Uper Motorsports, but now he's moved over to the number 32 Hunt Brothers Pizza's BMW M3 for RGE BMW Motorsports. Ian Dutta looking for his first win since Season 7 when he was a 2-time winner, went winless last season in Season 8. There is the defending Sprint Unlimited winner, Bob Jones. Won it last season in Season 8, then driving for Michael Norman Motorsports. This season, though, Bob Jones driving for his own team of JE Racing. With the new sponsorship of Reddit on its Chevrolet, we'll be seeing if Bob Jones can become the first ever back-to-back Sprint Unlimited winner. Right now, he is 16th fastest on the racetrack with a little more than 6.5 minutes remaining. There's Alex May. Now, this is a ride that we're actually going to see on track, trying to qualify for the Daytona 500 as well, almost similar to the whole thing with Momo Akari and Makoto Uguchi. Now, Christopher Pierce is scheduled to drive this ride for Season 9. However, Alex May will be driving it for one race here in the Sprint Unlimited. It still is lagging. I don't understand this. I apologize, guys. I don't understand why it is lagging. It wasn't lagging before. It's very temperamental right now. But Alex May ended up having a pole position in the few races that he ran in Season 8. It was at Michigan, and thus gets him into the Sprint Unlimited. So he'll be driving this 07 for one race deal here in Sprint Unlimited, and we'll be seeing just exactly what power we can expect to see out of this ride when Christopher Pierce takes it over in the quest to qualify for the Daytona 500. There's Brandon Gonzalez. Now, we saw him coming to pit road, apparently had some kind of problem. Whoa, there's some smoke here. Oh, there's some skid marks. Wow, somebody had a real spin here. Might have been Henley, I don't know. Someone had a real spin coming out of Ford, though. We'll look at the split cam, you'll see it all. Brandon Gonzalez, one of 2 Mitsubishi Lancers that are in the Sprint Unlimited. Gonzalez trying to pick up his first win since season 3 at Talladega Super Speedway. It's been a long time since he's been to victory lane. He's been close a number of times, but just not been able to get it in the past couple of seasons. Some dust kicked up there on the back straightaway as Jessica Shelton's run into trouble in the 94. So a couple of these drivers, if they're going to have to go to backup cars, they'll be starting at the rear of the field for the Sprint Unlimited. But Brandon Gonzalez ended up having a pole at Coca-Cola that gets him into this race. There's Langford. We already had talked about him. And there's Seth Cole, another of the BMW M3 drivers. Seth Cole drove a handful of races last season for RGE BMW Racing. He's back here in a one-race deal in his very familiar number 52 Alien Isolation BMW. Seth Cole ended up having a pole position last season at Rockingham, UK, which gets him into the Sprint Unlimited, coming up here on his teammate, Alex May, in the 07. There's Joshua Collard, who was the first Mitsubishi Lancer to go to victory lane in their history. That was last season, and actually he picked up 2 wins for Mitsubishi Lancer, winning at both the hilly stunt road as well as at the season finale at Armory Digital Super Speedway. But it was basically a one-and-done season for him and the Gonzalez S3 Motorsports Mitsubishi team. He now has moved over to Retro Enterprises in the number 39 Irish Spring Chevrolet. We'll see what Collard will be able to do over there, coming in as a 2-time winner from last season. He had a pole position at Stunt Road, and he dominated that race and won as well as at Charlotte, which gets him into this season's Sprint Unlimited in Season 9. That's your current pole sitter right there, Red Bell. She currently has the fastest lap, and we only have a little more than 3 minutes left to go in this session, as you can see up on the top middle of your screen. There's Dylan Poteet, another of the Final 4 for the championship last season. He and Jacob Lowe are actually the only 2 drivers who were in the Final 4 to compete for the championship in this Sprint Unlimited. Even the champion from Season 8 is not in this Sprint Unlimited, John Cianino. But Dylan Poteet coming in here, going to try and see what he can do this season. He was a winner last season at Darlington. He also was a pole sitter last season, which gets him obviously into... Oh no, he wasn't a pole sitter. I apologize. He actually didn't have a pole last season. He gets into this race because he's actually another of the former Sprint Unlimited winners. He won it in Season 7, the Sprint Unlimited. That was the 6th annual Sprint Unlimited. So Poteet gets in being one of those former winners. And I'm not certain, but there may be a little bit of buckle on the front of his hood. He may have been one of those few drivers that have encountered some problems here tonight. I think there is some damage on the Dylan Poteet machine. He still, though, is running 11th fastest on the racetrack because there's more dust that's been kicked up there in turn number 1. Charles Sanford, another driver out of the Gonzalez S3 Motorsports Mitsubishi team this season. Sanford, a former Daytona 500 winner too, won the 500 back in Season 7. So he'll try and go for his 2nd Daytona 500 victory this season. He ended up having poles at Las Vegas and Dover, which get him into this race. And last season he was very close to getting Mitsubishi Lancer to victory lane. We'll see what he can do here this season in his 2nd full-time season with the team. Dougie Shears, who we started the whole thing with. Here's a clump of drivers we haven't talked about yet. Sean Henley, former Snickers Cup Series champion, had a pole position last year at... trying to find his name. At Daytona, and he also won the Season 5 Sprint Unlimited, which gets him into this race. So he's one of 3 Tweenix drivers that will be trying to win this Sprint Unlimited. And then we got a couple of teammates from Sega Motorsports battling back here. Excuse me. They're battling back here, actually working together. Isaac Canepa back in his 2nd full-time season with Sega Motorsports in the 8. Canepa ended up having a pole position at Texas, which gets him into this race, and right behind him his teammate and former chaser from last season, Trent Dunham, right now 24th fastest on track. Trent back in the number 1, and Trent was a 3-time winner last season as well. Also had pole positions at Watkins Glen and the season finale of Armory Digital Super Speedway. I believe I may have covered everybody. I just want to double check, because if I haven't, then that wouldn't be good. But looking through the field here, looks like I have covered everyone. Don't see, where in the world is the current pole sitter for this race? Red Bell, where's she at? There she is. Right now it'd be her and Cole Daly, who would start on the front row for the Sprint Unlimited, then Noah Hart, Logan Wilson in row 2, Danny Wells and Jacob Law in row 3, Michael Norman, Tanner Sullivan row 4, the defending Sprint Unlimited winner Bob Jones, and Sean Galligan in row 5. And Red Bell trying to pick up her second career Sprint Unlimited win in what would be her only race here of Season 9. That'd be a great thing for her. No doubt about that. As they hit the stripe, just in the low 43s that lap was. Apparently the fastest lap ended up happening earlier on. And I'm pretty certain this session is now over. It is indeed complete. So we are going to take a look here. You will look at your official qualifying results from tonight's event. And this is how they're going to line up for the Sprint Unlimited, unless anybody has to go to a backup car, which I'm not going to know until after this recording is over. I'll be looking back, of course, at the replays that you guys will have seen with the split screens and stuff. Going to be interested to see about that incident there out of 4. But barring any drivers possibly having to go to backup cars, this is going to be your starting lineup for the 8th annual Sprint Unlimited, with Red Bell starting on the pole, Cold Alley starting on the outside of the front row. So this is the way they're going to look when we head to the Sprint Unlimited. After the Sprint Unlimited, it'll be Daytona 500 qualifying for the drivers that are not locked into the 500. We'll be seeing 3 division race battles as they'll be vying for, I believe, a total of 7 spots in the 500. And then, of course, we'll have Daytona 500 pole day qualifying going on with the drivers who do get themselves locked in to the 500. We're also going to be having events happening as far as Oreo Truck Series and Mobile Cup Series, as well as capping it all off with the running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. So hopefully you'll be tuning in for all the stuff that's going to be happening here during Daytona Speed Weeks, as we will see you guys next time for the Sprint Unlimited, next on the schedule here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Off-road racing at its best.